After the execution of Nat Turner on November 11th, 1831, his body was, quote, skinned to supply souvenirs and purses, his flesh made into grease, and his bones divided as trophies to be handed down as heirlooms. This was published by John W. Cornwell in a 1920 article in the Journal of Meat and Plants That Grow History. Moreover, southern states, out of fear, began to pass laws making it illegal for Black people to read and write. It was also forbidden for the enslaved to preach. It was forbidden for them to hunt in the woods, to carry a gun, to live in harmony with free Blacks or whites or even animals, and to be arrogant to whites. However, the revolt contributed to the radicalization of American politics and helped set the United States on its course towards a civil war, which would happen on April 1861 to April 1865. In Virginia, some of the Black people that participated, and even slaves that did not participate, were decapitated and their heads were put on poles. So apparently there's a part of the Virginia State Highway, Route 658, that's called Blackhead Signpost Road. This obviously sent a message during that time that if you revolt, this is what happens to you. It looks like back in 2021, they actually renamed the post and dedicated it to Nat Turner. But it's even disgusting that it just happened in 2021, y'all. Like, wrap your head around that. Taking Nat Turner's body and making the fat of his body into grease and taking his skin and making it into purses. They were trying to send a message in the most brutal way possible. However, Virginia did actually have a debate about what they wanted to do post-rebellion. They even thought about abolishing slavery altogether. Of course, they did not. However, one of the most notable people in history that were fighting to abolish slavery was Thomas Jefferson's grandson, Thomas Jefferson Randolph. He argued for the gradual emancipation of slaves because at this point, the South was very scared. It was white fear, y'all, and that's why they were executing slaves that literally had nothing to do with it. Executing slaves that were all the way in North Carolina, claiming that they were a part of the revolution. They were a part of the revolt. They were working with Nat Turner. And of course, slavery did not get abolished. What they did was enforce even more slave codes. And that includes a police bill that was passed that forbade any Black people from having a jury, whether you were free or not. And if you were a free Black person at the time and you got convicted of a crime, you could be sold back into slavery. As I've stated before, education bills were passed, so it will make it illegal for slaves to read and write and make it illegal for white people to teach them how to read and write. But I didn't mention in my previous videos that at 22 years old, Nat Turner actually escaped slavery. The only reason why he returned is because he had a vision that he thought was a message from God, and that it told him he had to turn back and set his people free. And that's when he begins expanding his religious teachings among slaves once he returns. Nat Turner's rebellion significantly influenced the abolitionist movement of the United States, and also it increased the number of slave revolts that were being saw in the South. So that lie that they tell you in school that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, no, we freed ourselves. They were afraid of us like they are now. And they had no choice, because so many enslaved people saw Nat Turner's actions as a symbol of resistance against their oppressor. And that's exactly how you should see it today, because you're still in chains. They're just invisible.
All right. Welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially, and this is the Midweek Report. news break edition, which means this video is tape delayed. But with that being said, as you are coming in, please hit that like button, hit that share button. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, please do so at this time. If you're watching on X, come on over here to the YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to beatzillapdx official and YouTube. And then you will hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded or a video premieres. And also you can join this channel and become a member and support that way if you would like. Now, as we are talking about the topic tonight, it is dreams and ThunderChicken. For those who know what the ThunderChicken is, you know, and I think we saw a little bit of that yesterday with Kamala, or today. That's when I seen it. Kamala Harris's recent outing where she has now made an appearance, and I guess, for all intents and purposes, making a holiday greeting, since we're moving into tomorrow being Thanksgiving. So for those who are meeting up with family, not that you are necessarily celebrating the white man's holiday, but if you guys are going to be around family and friends, then, salute to y'all and salute to the Black fam. I appreciate anytime you can get together and fellowship with your kin. And everybody is off, so take advantage of the time. Again, I'm not saying Thanksgiving but it's the white man's holiday. Yeah, we got that. But what I'm saying is, if you have the moment to take with your family and eat and fellowship, then what's wrong with that, regardless of the time, since you all are off and everything is closed. So enjoy your folks. With that being said, because you know how that go, oh man, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't gonna eat. Okay. Just want to, okay, yeah, good. We are, audio is good. I had to restart because my audio was not good. But it is what it is. That is the nature of the machines and the digital world. But, getting back to what we're talking about, we are going to be talking about Kamala Harris's speech, and then also talk about how people are complaining. The lamestream, shall we say, live stream media is complaining about X, formerly known as Twitter, and basically because people are getting their information from that source. But that also says that people are conversing together and comparing notes. So instead of the mind control of the media, you have free thinking people who are able to bounce ideas off of one another. And then on top of that, they're building in these spaces. Somebody might be researching something within a space. So all of these things are evident. And like I seen on the Native Land podcast, they had a person call in the very beginning of their broadcast, and this cat mentioned that, matter of fact, let me see. Let me just play the audio real quick of that, because I want y'all to hear what is said. I'm like, oh, this a tasty little tidbit of information here. When I do that, of course, that's ahead. So hold on, bear with me 1 second while I cue this up. Okay, this is what I want y'all to hear. So let me see. Of the voting population. Okay. Possibly got about. Okay. What's going on, Angela? How you doing, Andrew? I just wanted to make a firm comment that Tiffany made on her last section about Trump
getting half the country, and she was correct when saying that he didn't necessarily get half. Trump approximately got 32% of the voting population. Kamala Harris got 30% of the voting population, approximately 30.4% of the voting population, and 37% of the voting population decided to stay home and sit on the couch. If the couch was on the ballot, it would have gotten the popular vote, and it would have won every electoral vote in the union with 90 million votes, which is a 14 million margin separation. And if you divide that by the 50 states, you get a 280,000 margin on average for each state, and it could be higher depending on how they were voting. Again, that is my 2 cents. I appreciate it. Yeah, keep it going.
Now that say a lot. That say a lot. That means that the grassroots really has been speaking and cutting through the BS of the lie and the legacy media, the lying old dead media, the shields, the boule, all of that shows with those numbers, the couch would have won. Grassroots, voices of new black media. Thank you. And congratulations to you. Job well done. And now let's keep the pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. Because we need to get our Reparations Act. Cut the check. And, people, oh, man, now you got Trump in this office and blah, blah, blah. It should make the scene that much more clear for you. Because what you have been all this time is this. Absolutely sleep. And it's no more time for slumber. Like the words of the great MC8. Wake your punk ass up. Now, if you are just now getting in tune to this broadcast, you might want to go back and listen when you get a chance to the very first video I play, because this sister is giving some, it's a TikTok video of a sister giving some TikTok video of her giving some history on slavery and some of the things you might not have always heard about how things played out. And so it's nice, insightful piece. And I think you guys would enjoy it. So, and it gives you understanding also to how it applies to where we are today, and understanding that when it comes down to how we approach things and how our situation is so unique, then that will transcend throughout all the different areas. So even your wins will look different, I remember Brother Afro Elite mentioning that. Our wins absolutely look different. And to say that the couch was such a viable option that if it was a person or a viable candidate, it would have won. That literally is a third party. So don't let nobody tell you that a third party can't really win. Yeah, they can. Because if you can't get either one of these two candidates to beat the couch, then yes, a third party absolutely should be faring out a little better than what I believe people perceive. Maybe the tactics they have been using have not worked. But one thing is for certain, the way that these Democrats were attacking Jill Stein, obviously it bothered people in some area. Because boy, they were sure enough bothered by Jill Stein, wasn't they? They did not like what that woman was talking about at all. No sirree, Bob. So, yeah, there's that. So, like I said, she made her debut since the end of her campaign, and they're doing something with her. They're doubling down on the blackness. There's another TikTok video I seen, and I'm not really sure how old this is, but let me play you this TikTok video real quick before I go into play her speech. And again, that's why her speech last night, a lot of people are kind of speculating, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Was she on that bird? Because this ain't no doctored photo. You understand me? This is not no doctored photo. What's really going on? And okay, so the same woman who blew through $1 billion, and then no one is taking responsibility for such a failure, and then you turn around and say, well, she ran a great campaign. Number one, she did not. Number two, it was absolutely flawed. And number three, if she cannot manage running her own campaign, why on earth would we trust her to run the country? That legitimately does not make any sense. You're actually witnessing her being the boss, and all responsibilities of her being the boss get deferred to Joe Nobody, when it's literally supposed to be her in that position. Now you're hearing the border czar with the new guy, and everybody now, it's Project now what he is. He's Project 2025. No, what he is Project 2008, because who put him in his job? This man was retired and came back to take this job. He came out of retirement. So who put him in 2008? Yeah, you take your guess at that guy's name. So it's these people now, like people with the short memories, and I don't know, maybe Jasmine Crockett's not that doggone young. Ain't Jasmine Crockett like 40? So she know what in the hell was going on in 2008. Like, knock it off. But there's something about that also is troublesome. This was a horrible campaign, and black folks still, by great numbers, came out and voted for Kamala Harris, black men and black women. And as all of the stuff is coming out about this campaign and her as a candidate, you dodged a bullet, number one, but it speaks to how long will people remain asleep or allow themselves to be fooled the way they were. Because right now, you've never had, in like a matter of weeks after a campaign, people basically come out and admit that they've been lying to you for the last few months. But that's what's happening. And so for those of us who have been saying, this is the case, they're lying to you. If all else fails, lie. That's what they do. No one believed us. But even more so, Kamala Harris never, ever corrected inaccuracies of any of her shields. And one inaccuracy that she continues to ride with, and everybody else does too, is she's black. But now they're going further and reissuing the 2018, I guess, playbook. And now they're calling her an African American again, which she's not, but they're calling her an African American again. And why are they doing that? It's because they are trying to use her as a proxy as well to start mixing brown immigrants into our history as if they're black too, and they're not. But just check out this TikTok, because people are like, oh, I'm so proud. If she runs again, I'm with her. Man, this is a fraud, and as fraud can fraud. Here you go.
Powerful and moving. When we think about how human beings were treated by the hundreds of thousands in this very place that we now stand, the crimes that happened here, the blood that was shed here, men, women, and children, they were kidnapped from their homes. They were transported hundreds of miles from their homes, not really sure where they were headed. And they came to this place of horror before they were then forcibly taken on a journey thousands of miles from their home to be sold by so-called merchants and taken to the Americas, to the Caribbean, to be an enslaved people. What happened here must always be remembered. It cannot be denied. It must be taught. History must be learned. And we must then be guided by what we know also to be the history of those who survived in the Americas, in the Caribbean, those who proudly declare themselves to be the diaspora, came out of many situations, odds that were designed to break them, to make them feel like less than humans, but yet they survived. The descendants of the people who walked through that door were strong people, proud people, went on to fight for civil rights, fight for justice in the United States of America and around the world. And all of us, regardless of your background, have benefited from their struggle and their fight for freedom and for justice. Thank you.
Well, she definitely makes a true statement in saying that everybody around the diaspora has benefited. So, yeah. And one of the big benefits is that you guys can come to America and tether. But the funny thing, we don't hear these accolades to us, those descendants to which you referred to. But rather, we get ignored here. So why go over there to Ghana and make such a grandiose spectacle to the Ghanaians? And then you come here and crap on Black Americans. Like the CBC is trying to do right now. CBC members see Trump's mass deportation promises as an affront to Black Americans. No doubt in my mind that there will be immigrants of African descent that are in the crosshairs of what he's planning to do or planning on doing, Yvette Clarke told us. Again, those people are not Black Americans. They would be, if you just clarify they were immigrants. So especially if they're here illegally, then they definitely are not Americans. That means they're a citizen of another place. So to just, see how they trying to conflate the two. We need to, now I guess that's the next thing now we need to watch for is the backdooring or back porching, shall I say. And when I say back porching, I mean these are the people whom just want to be on the property. If they're not in the house, they at least want to hang out on the porch to be close. And this is what they're doing. They are hanging out on the Foundation of Black American Freedmen's back porch and say, man, all these accomplishments. Yeah, that's funny. They don't come over here and talk to us with that respect. Neither do we get that respect from the White House. We don't hear that from the Democrats. We have a Congressional Black Caucus. We definitely don't hear that from them at all. Nope. Mum's the word. The Congressional Black Caucus can't do nothing for us, but they upset at immigrants getting yanked. No, we're not finna sit up here and make that a us conversation, because it ain't. And at the end of the day, these people only give a crap about those people that there is fulfilling their agenda. I mean, these people have flooded the zone with like 20 million people. There is no way to justify that. That's a poorly ran campaign that we have seen. This is a poorly ran administration, because at the end of the day, what do we see out of Joe Biden? And the insiders of this camp are coming out talking about how they never even planned for Kamala Harris to be the candidate. And she's been there for 4 years and not once considered that she was a heartbeat away from being the president. And so she has absolutely zero agenda. All we got was a bunch of fantastical feelings, which here's the problem. It's an election. An election is not about feelings, but it's about substance. And speaking of substance, Kamala Harris, this picture is not doctored like, some could say, but no. And to prove it, we have her speech. And so let's check out Kamala Harris's speech.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Back at you, brother. You are such an extraordinary leader, and
Lord.
We have become lifelong friends. I just, in front of everyone, I want to thank you, Tim. You lead with courage. You lead with heart. You see the people. You care about the people. You believe in uplifting the dignity to which all people are entitled, and you do it and you have a sense of fun when you're doing it. But you are an extraordinary leader, and obviously the people of Minnesota are very, very lucky to have you there. But you are a national leader and a dear friend, and thank you. Noel, thank you for your work in Pennsylvania and all that you did for our.
Yeah, we can get over there. We can get to the message.
About it all the time. Being a daughter of parents who were active in the civil rights movement, in this was critical. What we did in 107 days was unprecedented. Think about the coalition that we built, and we were so intentional about that. You would hear me talk about it all the time. Being a daughter of parents who were active in the civil rights movement, I know.
What does that mean? Being the daughter of parents that were active in the civil rights movement? How? I mean, I would really like to know that one. I don't see many immigrants now, or in my lifetime for that matter of fact, making bold noises to fight for civil rights. And again, when under further investigation, the civil rights that she's referring to was their parents' advocacy for other immigrants. Not so that's a really false. Well, it's true, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, she acts like she make it sound like she was fighting with us. They were not. They was up there fighting on for immigrants' rights.
Know and believe that the best movements that are about progress in our country mean that it's leaders that we are dedicated to the coalition, to bringing people together that seemingly have nothing in common, but have everything in common. A coalition where we bring people together based on a deep love of our country and our understanding that the strength of our country will be a function of our willingness to put in the work.
What does that mean? Our willingness to put in the work. The work has long been getting done here. I'm not certain about what you mean when you say when put in the work. You had a campaign, so I guess would putting in the work look like as soon as you got the call to step up to run as the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, it took you 40 days for a press conference that we actually never really got, because everything was, as it's turning out, was a paid for or paying podcasters and whatnot, and so it was all tailored, nothing off the cuff. So that was a problem. That probably could have been some of your work to make more stops with the people versus just the people you like. And but this was played beautifully if you're trying to fail. And now here we are with woo, talking about dreams and ThunderChicken.
And that we will do that work with a sense of joy, yes, with a sense of work ethic and understanding it's going to be hard, but it's good work. It's good work to be engaged in a collective fight for America's future. And it means so much to me and to Governor Walz that you knocked on doors, you called friends, you called in favors.
Okay, so the fight she's referring to, this is to the staff. So this is the address to the staff. Damn, this was late. And so many of them have been fired already, but okay.
You said, hey, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. You put in the time. It was personal for you. And you gave all that you could to support our campaign. Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion from grassroots supporters alone, the most in presidential campaign history. Nearly 8 million donors contributed an average donation of about $56 to fuel our people-powered campaign. And understand that the work that we did included the work that so many of you here did, which is to talk to first-time voters. Many of you are first-time voters.
You raised a lot of money on hype and a bad campaign and a bad delivery. This is an all-around bad investment. And she's talking like this was a win. You're $20 million in the hole. And this is so pat myself on the back right here. I guess maybe she was thinking of this would be like the pep talk to the people, but it just comes off a little pompous to me. Maybe it's just me.
And to talk about how being involved can make a difference, and that remains true. And that's one of the pieces that I just want us to please take away, that our fight for freedom and for opportunity and for the promise of America, it included, for example, nearly almost 4 million first-time contributors to our campaign because of the work you did of helping people know that they can be engaged and that they're not outside, that they're inside, that we're all in this together. And that work continues. The work must continue of reminding ourselves that we have an ability to stay engaged in a way that will make a difference. The work that you all did, it's going to have lasting effect.
Again, maybe it's me, but I hear the sound of ThunderChicken. Yeah. Anybody see the Temptations movie? Y'all remember in the Temptations movie where Paul is drunk on stage, up there singing Psychedelic Shack, and he up there moving like a marionette puppet. It came to his part. He's so sauced up there, he could barely get his words out. You can have your virgin soul. You can have his soul. She's starting to sound a little bit like Paul from the Temptations. Ain't she? Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Again, I'll say, the election didn't turn out like we wanted it to. Certainly not as we planned for it to. But understand that the work we put into it was about empowering people. That's the spirit with the work we did. Our spirit and our work was about...
Wait. What now? The work you did was about empowering people? Empowering who? The 20 million illegals? Grown men wanting to be in the bathrooms with little girls because they are identifying as a woman today? Is that what we're talking about? Empowering? Because it definitely was not Black empowerment. That's for certain.
Saying that it is a strength that we each have to lift people up as opposed to beating people down. It is a strength we have that has lasting effect. So all that work that you did that was about engaging with other people, engaging with perfect strangers and in their face seeing a neighbor, that has lasting effect. It reminds people that there are leaders like you who care and will bring us together. And sometimes in the darkest moments, people lose faith in that. Are there people out there that feel that way? And you reminded people that yes, there are. And there are a lot of us.
There's got to be a morning after if we hold on through the night.
And that strength cannot be taken from us. That is our strength. It cannot be taken from us. So listen, as I said the day after the election, I still strongly believe the light of America's promise will burn bright as long as we never give up and we keep fighting. And the fight that fueled our campaign, a fight for freedom and opportunity, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the dignity of all people, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the future, a future in which all people receive the promise of America? No.
What? You can't just stick it to the man. You got to find yourself a plan. From the ballot box to the jukebox. From the outhouse to the White House. From Blueberry Hill to Capitol Hill. Ooh-wee. But old Willie Brown left his thrill. Oh. Let's hear a little more of this.
A fight that is about a fight for the ideals of our nation, the ideals that reflect the promise of America, that fight's not over.
When America was founded, they did not have the first thing in the mind of, man, we need abortion. Abortion and trans women in natural girl sports. Knocking the hell out of them, you know? Well, there's only a few of them. Oh, okay. That makes sense, though, right? Anyway.
Over. So look, we still have a lot to fight for, okay? A future where every American can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the right to make decisions about their own body, not their government telling them what to do.
Not their government telling them what to do. Well, since there won't be a national abortion ban, your government's not telling you what to do and won't be in position to do so again. So what you will have is the states, and it'll be up to the states because, you know, that's how it works. And I don't understand, where did all of these civics people go? With all the things that they say now about Donald Trump that, of course, they weren't really saying when he was faced off against Joe Biden, with all of those things that, you know, he's going to do this and do that, where have the civics people gone? With all the arguments and excuses that these people say not to vote for Trump, all the civics people have became mute. Because everything that she's talking about is against civics. She literally, her campaign was just throwing a bunch of stuff out there that was literally against civics itself. And all those people that were up there in our comments with Joe Biden and hopping up on camera as soon as they could, man, y'all, what's wrong with the problem with Black America? Y'all don't understand civics. And then here she comes. International abortion. We got in this on every news. Nobody's talking about how civics works anymore. Amazing how that happens.
Do our fight for the rule of law, for freedom for all, for equal justice, for the sacred principle that everyone, no matter where they start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be upheld. That's not over. That fight's still in us, and it burns strong.
Hold on. Wait, what did you say? What was that now?
Ideals of our nation, the ideals that reflect the promise of America, that fight's not over.
Uh-huh.
So look, we still have a lot to fight for, okay? A future where every American can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the right to make decisions about their own body, not their government telling them what to do. Our fight for the rule of law, for freedom for all, for equal justice, for the sacred principle that everyone, no matter where they start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be upheld.
Ah, yeah. The wheels come off the bus. That's what I thought my ears just heard. No matter where you start, yeah, ma'am, it does. Because if you didn't enter into this country legally, America don't owe that person nothing. If they did enter this country illegally, America don't owe that person nothing. They're not entitled to anything. Just go back to Barbara Jordan. She told you they are not entitled to the benefits. Come on now.
That's not over. That fight's still in us, and it burns strong. And I know this is an uncertain time. I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear-eyed about it. And it feels heavy. And
I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear. Harry Carey would be proud right now. Hello, everybody. I'm Harry Carey. Well, today in Wrigleyville, we have afternoon matinee fantastic showdown between the Atlanta Braves and our Chicago Cubs. I mean, she is really, as it just rolls on, it just gets worse.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you. Look, this mission that we have, it takes hard work. But as you've heard me say many times, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work. And in doing our work, we will remain committed and intentional about building community, building coalitions, reminding people that we all have so much more in common than what separates us.
You know, one of the other things and problems that she has, her charisma is so phoned in, it ain't funny. And for those of you who believe that she has really got some kind of personality that you could sell, you are out of your mind, man. No, there is nothing really likable about this woman. If we're being honest, come on, man. This woman does not really embolden likability. As much as that might suck to hear, she just doesn't, you know? And I you know, there's no way to make her have it. But she's yeesh. Yikes. Yeah, no, man. She ain't got it. And she's like, you know, they try to do the Barack 2.0 with her. And that doesn't work, man. She doesn't have it.
We will be armed with the faith and the fuel that tells us what is possible and then drives us to achieve it. So let's continue to organize and mobilize and stay engaged. And I thank you all. I thank you all. We are all in this together. All right? We are all in this together. And on this practical eve of Thanksgiving, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving with the ability and to find the ability at this moment to
have one for me and Doug. Ooh, Lord. So that was the vice president's recent speech. Not sure how that's going to be received, but you know, you know, there's a lot of things that are obviously bothering these people. You know, I heard that the people at The View, they had them a little retreat or a getaway or an event, shall we say, allegedly. And, you know, we just so happen to have a little bit of footage of this is the Sunny Holston weekend women's retreat.
and around and around.
Oh, we have to have our coping circle because, oh, the orange man bad is in office, and nobody that, there's probably about a good percentage out here that is not in need of ready now abortions. I'm just probably, shooting in the dark here, But yeah, just in my opinion, strong chance.
I know.
Now they're gonna get in the cold frigid waters, man. We're gonna wash off our pain.
Oh my God.
Who the hell encourages this? Hey, black feminists, if you guys don't get off that train right now, this is you. This is gonna be you. You're gonna be out there. You're gonna be getting your Khalees on at the beach, screaming at the waves. I want you so much right now. Oh my goodness. What on earth? It is got to be freezing cold out there. Oh, how stupid. Oh my God. Oh, what idiots. Gonna scream at her way. What the hell is this? Lord. So, I think for all intents and purposes, everybody can understand why I have Al Sharpton on here. Because we're talking also about the lame / lie stream media who has, especially on the cable news outlets, that, they're feeling the heat, they're feeling the pressure, and, rightfully so, and good, I say good. Because I should feel the pressure. And so where's the first one I want to play here? Okay, let me get these up in here real quick so I can I get on those? Let's do it like this. Oh, I can't. Okay. Do one. Okay, so we'll start with the oops. I don't think that's the first one. Oh well. All right, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So this is CNN. They're having meltdowns over X, where black folks get a chance to build with one another. There are people out here who are having a problem with, because what they keep talking about is misinformation. And my thing with the people like that, they all boast or always use misinformation, and like they're the only people who can whatever they say must be true because it's them saying it, so of course it's true. That's neither here nor there either. Like that's not, no. That is not how it works. So I'm going to start with, guess I'll start with Heath.
Joins us in our fifth seat. So, Carrie, I want to ask you about this idea of media takeover, because after Elon Musk purchased Twitter, changed it into X, there's no doubt that he exercised some power there. So how do you hear this even ingest kind of purchase of a cable network?
Good to be with you tonight.
Good to be with you as well.
Thanks for having me. I think that we should believe everything that is said coming from this administration. I don't think that we have the luxury to dismiss it as him being someone who's being funny or someone who is just being himself, or that is his brand. X, and you said in some ways, always. I feel like X, I don't know if anyone is on it in any capacity. I don't know if you're on it.
Stop. Come on. I don't know who's on X in any capacity. Stop it.
You're the only one? You're on it? You all are on it? Okay. I've actually decided to take a rest of peace because it is not a peaceful place for me. And I know if, in fact, you don't agree with this current administration, most people can say that it's not a peaceful place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an actual bid made to take on MSNBC, but the fact that it just can't happen in real life.
And we just can't.
It's
It's
not
not
even
for sale.
Yeah, it's not officially for sale.
The last
It's not
time
even
he
realistic.
mused about maybe buying something.
It's not even realistic in real life, but I do believe that media, everyone sitting here at this table, if you don't agree, we're in for some tough years ahead. I do believe that we are not going to be able to be as safe or say what we want to. I don't think free speech is going to be as free.
Now that's very interesting to think. She gonna say that. I don't think free speech will be as free. Really? Because I remember 2 years ago, free speech definitely wasn't free. And our brother Reza Islam was targeted by the White House because of his free speech. By this administration, this lady that you wanted us to vote for now. I don't know why y'all just overlooked that. Like that wasn't going to be an issue with this group of voters whom this brother is actually very in tune to and very much a part of the community. And so that was a bad play. But again, when you have consultants that have no idea of our culture and aren't from our lineage, what do you expect them to know? Other than, let's just do the wrong thing. And they did. Let's hear a little more.
Some ways, always. I feel like X, I don't know if anyone is on it in any capacity. I don't know if you're on it. You're the only one? You're on it? You all are on it? Okay. I've actually decided to take a rest of peace because it is not a peaceful place for me. And I know if, in fact, you don't agree with this current administration, most people can say that it's not a peaceful place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an actual bid made to take on MSNBC, but the fact that it just can't happen in real life.
And we just can't.
Okay, it's the same piece.
Tough years ahead. I do believe that we are not going to be able to be as safe or say what we want to. I don't think free speech is going to be as free.
Now, Scott.
That's insane. Let's hear some more.
Right now, which gives them carte blanche to whatever they want right now. Elon is not someone who likes to be regulated. And so to buy MSN, he would go under some federal regulations.
Who's regulating CNN right now?
The FCC.
We're not a broadcast. It's cable. I mean, I don't really think cable stations are under the same regulatory structure over public airways that broadcast is.
It's definitely regulated more than than Facebook and
there's
Twitter.
Still, what she's saying is that there's still a litmus test of journalism that you have to pass. You can't come on TV and just make up things and say things. That happens on X. Please don't give me the eyebrow furrow as if you don't know what I'm talking about. It happens often on X. I can go and say the color is blue and I will be met with so many disrespectful remarks. No one's regulating the N-word. No one's regulating the criticism. No one is regulating how people are treated.
Wait. Criticism. No one's regulating the N-word. No one's regulating the criticism. Criticism of what? Yeah, what does that part mean? The criticism. Yeah, what actually does that mean?
How much government regulation of the First Amendment are you for?
Let me tell you something. If I came on here and I just started calling you all kind of names, do you think the bosses would let me continue to do that?
I mean, it happens to me occasionally. I don't know if you watch the show.
It doesn't happen to you, but it doesn't happen for me. And I know that I wouldn't be able to do that. There's a level of professionalism in what we do here because we are journalists and we adhere to something, at least morally. And there is no moral compass on this thing called
You're also having a...
That's not true at all. That's not true. That's a gross misstatement, ma'am. To say that there is no moral anything on X, that's BS. What you can't stand is no one's listening to you for leadership. They're listening to themselves. They're gathering all of the information for themselves and acting and responding accordingly. And because they didn't vote for this. somehow it's all the disinformation and misinformation that they got. That's ridiculous. So this last little clip of this conversation.
What you're saying about X, I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott,
of any platform.
stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes.
You're going to be embarrassed when I tweet out after the show, but
you
it's
cannot
true.
say that.
So,
That's not the case.
So
Who's the source?
what I find, we reported it on this network.
It's not accurate, and you know it.
Okay, I'll let you make your statement.
Scott,
but my point is
can I
this.
reframe it a different way? Because the site changed radically, right? So whether you think the voices it is somehow more balanced now, that's fine. But no doubt.
I would like to know, what exactly is she talking about that changed radically? What changed? What about X has changed? The only thing that I can see is a lot of of course, the over-the-top white supremacists, of course, the racists, but they've always been there. And absolutely not. You're right. They are most definitely not getting regulated on the N-word. That's most definitely true. And again, these are the things that even us Black folks deal with. However, our speech seems to have been let alone to be free more than when this thing was tied to people who were listening to the Democrats. So then at that turn, that's not a negative for the Black community. That's a negative for the establishment. And so we got to represent that right, sister. Let's not put Black folks in that, because that's not why you're even mentioning it.
Musk's influence is profound, and that you open it up and now you're there with his opinion, and he is now part of this administration. So does anyone else think that there should be this greater concern about billionaires purchasing media companies?
Okay. Would you be worried if Bill Gates controlled MSNBC?
No, because he's sane.
Because MS...
And right there, family, lies the problem. If you don't think like them, then you're bad. That's insane. Well, yeah, Bill Gates is sane. Says who? Bill Gates is one of the most staunch anti-Black racists on the planet. Like I've said and told the family years ago, just go look and see if you can find Bill Gates and an African American together in a picture that is not him giving things over in Africa and rubbing little African kids' heads after he brought a bunch of his jabs over there. This is the nephew of Margaret Sanger. And these women, he's sane. Yeah. He wants to depopulize. He's a depopulationist. And guess who's his main target? But he's sane. Clearly you're not. Speaking of the insanity, here's some more that I came across today.
Number one, they just made up this position, okay? Like, they created this position. This isn't something that, say, the Senate has to consent to. This is a random kind of henchman of Donald Trump's, number one. Number two, the job of that particular role is not to incarcerate people. If this man wants to be the one that is going to enforce our laws, then maybe we should look for him to be the Attorney General of the United States, because seemingly it doesn't matter whether or not you're qualified to fulfill that position for Trump. It's just about whether or not you will arrest the people that he wants arrested. And this was one of those things that we tried to warn people about with Project 2025, which is this idea of we will go out and we will incarcerate people. This is is the type of thing that they claim was happening to Trump and his friends, instead of people accepting the reality that Trump and his acolytes are actual criminals. You know, right now we have people that are deciding that they are going to criminalize those that are not doing what Trump wants them to do.
No, Jasmine Crockett. Trump is saying he's going to penalize you for breaking the law. You are a sworn-in official. A mayor is a sworn-in official. The governor is a sworn-in official. Chief of police, a sworn-in official. Meaning, if you choose to break your oath, you also are breaking the doggone law. So where does that point or truth and evidence get lost? What happened? Because I find that to be mighty interesting that, oh yeah, we're not gonna assist on these mass deportations. It's against what we stand for, and we're gonna protect our citizens. Number one, they're not citizens. They keep giving you something, and then the problem with what they're giving you and selling you is that it's simply not true. Well, I don't care. What President Trump? I'm going to just defy the president. You're defying and betraying the American people and your oath of office. So here's another lady from Arizona, I believe, who is also now proclaiming that she is going to ignore her oath of office.
Dear Tucsonans, as your mayor, I want to reassure every single resident that I am committed to do all we can to keep our community safe. I am deeply troubled by President-elect Trump's plans for mass deportation. I believe they are cruel and immoral. I will work with our police chief to make sure that our focus remains on protecting and serving Tucsonans. Here in Tucson, we know how to stand up and fight against hate and racist laws. Part of our history is coming together with our faith leaders and other organizations to protect children and families from separation. I am unwavering in my commitment to this fight. While we do not have specific details about how mass deportations will be carried out by President-elect Trump's administration, we do know that it will be painful to children, families, and our immigrant communities. We do not have the exact details as to when and if Proposition 314 goes into effect. We know that this hate-filled proposition draws from SB 1070, the Show Me Your Papers law. We are a compassionate city that knows that we are stronger together and that values our multiracial heritage. Justice will prevail.
We don't have a multiracial heritage. Matter of fact, America is very, very much black and white. So, no. See, again, you do. I hope that everybody can understand when you see these people and what they're fighting for, that's why you're getting slapped in the doggone face. Yeah. Well, we ain't going to do this. See what they're fighting for. Now, the Black Caucus people that are really doing, this is to affront black folk. No, it's not. And we not finna join into this. Fire up the doggone jet. We're not part of this. And what they're trying to sell, this is, we're going to start seeing a lot more of them trying to, the Congressional Black Caucus talk about black people and all black people. That's going to be that line. And in all reality, all they talking about is immigrants. Black Americans that have a no, leave us out of that conversation. We ain't got nothing to do with that. And see what they keep trying to do? Man, Black Americans come, it's going to affect. No, it ain't got nothing to do with us. And like she's talking about the borders are what she was supposed to be. And Jasmine Crockett, a little secret that you might not have known, but you're old enough to know that Barack Obama hired that man. He came out of retirement to do this job and does it well, because that's why Barack Obama had him, and they called Barack Obama deporter in chief. So if deportations were cool under Barack Obama, let them be cool under this guy too. We're not finna do that. And families and miss me with all of that. Deport them all together. And at the end of the day, lock these defiant governors up. Ain't no sanctuary, nothing here no more after January 20th. So y'all might want to get right.
Well, look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute, it's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III, and what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear, we want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't know what the hell is going on in Denver. But if you got to lock him up, lock his ass up. You want to be a spectacle? Make him a spectacle. And for the rest of us, we are simply over here telling you, hashtag fire up the chat.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today, it's your beautiful day. And we gonna party all day, like it's a freaking holiday.
Uh-huh. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have something new before we go. And it's something new I'm gonna start. I'll probably be doing a few of these because I have the sneaking suspicion we're gonna start seeing a lot more of it. And so one of the things that we will have to remind people on why we delineated, we are very well aware of what we did, why we did it, and who we are delineating from, as well as what we promote within our lineage. And I found some things like, I'm just noticing that a lot of foundational Black Americans are now asking the questions of when do they become Black? You cannot become a lineage. That doesn't make sense. But I want to introduce everyone to a new segment called Nigerian Lacefront Confessions. And for the first installment of such said little segments, here we go.
I'm definitely still healing from the trauma I experienced growing up as an immigrant. Because for me, as soon as I opened my mouth, there was always some sense of ridicule or some sense of like feeling alone or left out because I wasn't like everyone. And I know that like particularly in the Black community, when it comes to like culture, there are things where it's like you have to do certain things. You have to listen to or hear or know certain things to prove your Blackness.
Yes.
So like being African and not knowing the Black experience in America, that set me back so much because I was like, okay, well, like, I guess I'm not Black. So now, like, why should I like fight for y'all or like be friends with y'all when like y'all are telling me that I'm not Black and I'm from Africa? I flew over here from another continent and I know I'm Black, but like, I don't share your experience. I don't share your culture.
Well, then right off the rip, you know what the issue is. We identify as Black as a culture. See, that right there is dishonest as hell. And when you see stuff like that, I have no respect for people who do things like that. Because, oh, well, I came over here and I felt out of place. Oh, let me guess where you found your place. Amongst white people? Anytime you hear somebody telling you that, you know that they are a liar. Because white folks didn't treat you better. That's not true. If you believe that, then you're delusional. But we know for a fact, you got a chance to experience racism. You just ignored it. Like the football dude. What's the other Nigeria? I had to learn Black culture when I came over here. I didn't learn Black culture till I got to college. Right, because he came over here to have his face up white folks' ass. So she's no different. And to come in, I didn't know. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. And just to prove how much them people know, there's another little TikTok video that popped up by an African man. And he's going to tell some game. Check it out.
So I was talking about how Chibueze should not have changed his name to Shabuzi. And the funniest thing is that Nigerians were abusing me. They didn't understand, right? But you see, the Black Americans, they understood exactly what I was talking about. And one of the things I learned from Black Americans, because they are very spiritual people, is this concept of microaggression. As a Nigerian immigrant who didn't grow up around white people, I never really understood it. But you see, Black people will teach you, Black Americans will teach you that there's a certain way white people, whether it's in their tone, whether it's in the way they look at you, whether it's in the way they speak to you, that it's inherently aggressive, right? And this skill has been passed on from generations to generations. They all have it, right? If a Black American ever tells you your interaction with a white person doesn't sit well with you or doesn't sit well with them, you better trust them.
Yeah, man, he's telling y'all the truth. If you African brothers and sisters out there that listen to your countryman here, he knows what he's talking about. If we give you game on your interactions, you better take note, because you might be walking into danger like the was it Christian Obenselli or whatever that brother's name was. White girl dusted him off. Everybody tried to make him seem, even after he was gone, you had a neighbor lying on that man. Y'all remember that? Even the neighbor was lying on that dude. How wicked is that? That's super wicked. So, needless to say, Dreams and ThunderChicken. And also the lame stream / live stream media and all of its shills. And then last but not least, these idiots, the Congressional Black Caucus. And you got a tether up here talking about Black Americans. Leave us out of your tether affairs, lady. You're part of that Caribbean Black Caucus. Never forget that, ladies and gentlemen. That's where her loyalty lies. Don't come around here talking about, oh man, this is actually, hey, Black folks, this is going to be bad for Black Americans. No, it ain't. Nope. It's not. Matter of fact, ain't got nothing to do with us. So we'll just be back to minding our own Black business, if you don't mind. But if you have any questions, one thing you can worry yourself to do is to go up to Capitol Hill and tell them that you want the Dr. Martin Luther King Reparations Act. Why don't we do his name justice? All that John Lewis BS. Let's do good on and fulfill Dr. King's mission. Going to Washington to get our check. Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of people out here coming around us here in the near future, trying to see if they can still maybe mosey her in. But here's the deal. Next go around, she has to compete. So now they're floating governor out there. I don't think so. D.L. Hughley has shut down his X page. I'm sure there will be many of others. So I would like to say to all of you boot-licking shills who talk down to Black America and watched your candidate lose, now you are watching major news entities take hits. And now you also seen, because hey, D.L. Hughley, you're on the radio too, just like Steve Harvey. All of you people are taking money and you're supposed to be journalists. So when people come a calling Steve, Ricky Smiley, y'all just remember, don't look to Black America to come to your rescue on this, because at the end of the day,
you shouldn't have been talking shit.
And some of you may say, that ain't right. That ain't right. Y'all shouldn't be doing people. We need to stick together. No. Yeah, because we absolutely ain't doing that. Why? Because when you bootlick, when you shield, and when you shine for the Democrats, all you is. You shade tree nigga. And you may disagree. You may be all in your feelings. You may be ready to pass out on the floor because Kamala Harris still didn't win. I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official, the Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the Grassroots, and the voices of New Black media. Okay, I was going to say, and the voices of New Black media. I think I'm safe to say I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed. And remember, hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Because we ain't doing no back porching business over here. So understand, we walk to the bank alone, folks. So y'all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at outrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donation, you can do so at CashApp, $beatzillapdx. And we got PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And make sure you keep your notifications on, folks. And until next time, you guys have a good holiday with your folks. If that's what you're doing, if you're not, that's cool too. You know, it's just me, just us and the family, because we're all off, and so we're gonna have some family time and family food. And so, if that's what you guys are doing, cool. Always take time to spend as much time with your loved ones as you can, because you never know. Tomorrow is not promised at all. The end of today is not promised at all. So with that being said, peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon each and every one of you. Stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Y'all have a blessed night and